Sangrai, one of the biggest festivals in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. But there's this tradition that most people forgot about, Alaree and Doh. But it's still practiced today in a small village in Khagrachari, and the game has been documented by researchers over time. A traditional game among the Marma community, a game they play regardless of age and gender as they welcome the new year. It's a tradition mostly prominent in the Khagrachari district. In other places, the Marmas play Doh, pronounced Do in other regions. In this video, we will be exploring this unique tradition and little-known facts about one of the games played during Sangrai festival. On day 1, I had just arrived in Khagrachari, and this wonderful girl showed me around Pankhaiya Para, a village situated in the middle of Khagrachari shopping, and she introduced me to Alaree. It's a game very similar to Doh, and people start playing it 2 to 4 days before the new year. There's this excitement everyone's been waiting for, and people in this particular village play Alaree until the end of Sangrai. There are many ways to play this game with a set of rules and about 11 different steps, where they use every part of their body from hand all the way down to their toe to throw the sword bean at a target. I came to realize that only the Marmas from Khagrachari play Alaree and Doh nowadays. Meanwhile, it used to be very common during the Sangrai festival. It was commonly referred to as Doh. I have never seen Doh being played in the town of Bandarban in the recent times, but still a game played in the rural areas. There are many games in Marma culture, but this one in particular is quite highlighted not just among the Marma community, but Chakma, Tripura and Tanchangya communities as well. But they have their own rules to play this game. While the two games, Alaree and Doh, may seem similar, but they're entirely different. So Alaree primarily consists of 2 teams in each match, and who gets to play first is determined by a toss. Each team can have a maximum of 4 to 5 players. On the other hand, Doh can have up to 30 to 40 players maximum, but typically 10 players. It's nearly impossible to finish it in a day. And with a mix of their Pankhaiya culture, there's drumming in the background. A lot of drumming. From childhood, I had only known Rilongwe, popularly called the Water Festival, but upon arriving to this village of Pankhaiya Para, I witnessed a new tradition within the Marma community, one where people of all ages and genders would come together to play Doh and Alaree. What I liked about their culture is older generations would encourage the younger generations to play this game. And this practice itself in this particular community serves to preserve this one bit of their culture that is now almost lost in Bandarban region.
A little bit of history about this game. So we found this document written in 1959 by 2 German researchers, Hans Kaufmann and Lorenz Leffler. We found some interesting facts about this game. They have mentioned rules step by step of 2 regions, Bandarban and Khagrachari, which is very interesting. Even though the game is played using sword bean or kyangji, but the rules are totally different, and they really went in with details. In Bomang Circle, the community referred to as Regesa by the authors, meaning the Marma called the game Do Bo. They traditionally played 24 rounds. Though Mr. Ong Shifru, who helped the authors with information during Bandarban visit, notes some play only 21 rounds. In contrast, in the Hmong circle of northern Ramgarh, as this research was done in 1959, back in Ramgarh was the main district. Well, that is another history that we're gonna get back to you later. And to people there who are also Marma, we are referred to as Plengsa, called the game Kyangbo or Kyangtoja, a variant of Kyangbo. And they typically play just 11 rounds, which we know now as Alaree. For Regesa, that's what written in this document. A row of 30 to 40 sword bins called Doh is stood upright on their thin edge, which is a target line, with about 7 to 8 centimeters of space between each. The flat side of the bins faces the throwers. Players throw a disc called gong, made of wood, stone, or metal, and about 8 to 10 centimeters wide. In simpler version, only one sword bin is used. The throwing point, called ta, is played 10 meters or more away from the target line. But for Palengsa, a row of 5 wood small boards are lined up called che do, or simply do. One interesting fact, they have added that according to Dr. Leffler, the Marma of Bandarban often use the top or bottom shell of turtles as gong, which they break open meat.
Yeah, how was your experience? I want to ask. From my side, I'm very excited to let you know this tradition of ours and the rules that we have here. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, the fact that the older generation actually encouraging the younger generation, even the kids, it's really, really inspiring and something that preserves the culture, the tradition of this game. And it's something unique about this village in Khagrachari. Something that I don't usually see in
Let's see how.
There's this prominent fact that Marma communities belonging to Bandarban were the only ones to participate in water festivals. While it may be unfamiliar to many, this practice wasn't traditionally part of Marma's culture until it was introduced by some notable individuals after the 1971 war. If you would like to learn about that, please comment down below and I'll get to it. But before the water festival, the Marma communities played a lot of games other than Doh. From wrestling to climbing bamboo poles and games like Kongnya, Bukdo, Gangdo, and many more. And with time, water festival made its way all the way from Bandarban to Rangamati and then to Khagrachari. Slowly and steadily, the practice of these games have been disappearing from our culture. Well, I didn't make this up. I asked Dr. Mongsano Abagri about this while I was in Rangamati. On the side note, water festivals aren't just a thing among the Marma community. The Rakhine community celebrates them in their own way. This festival is also celebrated in countries like Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, and parts of Southeast Asian countries. And the water festival is a shared tradition mainly from the Hinduism myth and also about celebrating the harvesting season. But it's just as important to preserve and practice what we already have. From this journey, I learned a lot about Alaree and Doh. But I can't go without mentioning one thing. This game is actually very common in Southeast Asian region. Other than the indigenous communities playing here, it's also a common game in Assam, Mizoram, and all the way to Laos. But each with its rules. Maybe this game could have been to Olympics, who knows? But unfortunately in Assam, this game is just as disappearing. I hope you learned something from this short documentary. My purpose is to document my journey while I explore to find these interesting stories of indigenous culture in the Chittagong Hill Tracts and preserve them through films that I make. And truth be told, I didn't even know this about my own culture. And in every culture and in every community, there are things not everyone knows about. But I guess it's a journey for a person to take. And this journey taught me about a tradition that I've never experienced. If you love this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and definitely follow our Facebook pages. It helps to make these videos possible. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.